So I want to say thank you for joining us and staying with us. And we're with our panelists who are local doctors, healers, therapists, and really honored that you all are here. Fidel Moreno, if you're just coming on, I'm your host for the Future Media Now.tv presentation of Out of the Darkness Comes the Light, COVID strategies, COVID safe strategies and initiatives. So thank you so much for joining us. So please, we'll start with Tia, go around the room, introduce yourself and who you are, what you do, and why you're here. Thank you.
Thanks, Fidel.
Yeah.
My name is Tia Ewaskai, and I am a health and wellness advocate, a yoga instructor, and a maker of cold pressed juice. Beginning to offer weekly cold pressed juice subscriptions in the Durango area in this coming new year. And yeah, I'm here to gather with all of you in celebration and honor of the winter solstice. And yeah, excited to share and learn ways for self-care and healing trauma. And yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Excited for the juice. I've been wanting that for years.
Awesome. Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
My name is Nicola Dehlinger. I'm a naturopathic doctor here in Durango, Colorado at Pura Vida Healthcare. And I'm here today because I think it's really important that we continue talking about health and healing and vitality and expanding our awareness of what this actually means and going beyond just there's nothing physically wrong with this body, so it's good enough, to moving into our place of optimal health and healing, which I think there's a lot of factors going on in our society right now that are causing us to feel heavy and broken and wrong, and I want to be part of the conversation to shift that narrative. So
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Katrina, Blair, and I grew up
Here in this area.
fell in love with the land really early on in the plants, and really the land and the plants have spoken to me so intimately, saying, hey, you are what you eat, and so let's eat our earth, our home, our garden that we live in.
What you eat and how much that
actually supports our immune system on so many levels,
but also our sense of belonging and connection and that wisdom that the earth is, that is ancient, that's come through so many peoples over time, gets to come back into us today by going directly to those nourishments.
Here as an advocate.
And the beautiful juice.
Fidel Moreno, filmmaker, but also work with sacred plants and work with breath work. And just really honored to be here amongst these amazing people here in Durango, Colorado. And just finding some real solid energy here. So thank you. Thank you for being here.
Thank you. Hey, Ewaskai. Good morning. My name is Gemma Rothstar. I'm from Taos, New Mexico. I'm really honored to be here. I'm a hemp CBD wellness coach as well as an equine therapist. I've been involved with both horses and hemp for over 20 years, and I've helped thousands of people experience health and wellness with plant medicines as hemp CBD, and I'm just grateful to be here with such an amazing dynamic group of amazing healers and people that are really making a difference in the community to bring people back to the roots of Mother Earth. So thank you.
I am Kim Duramo.
Dr. Kim Duramo.
Dr. Kim Duramo.
Worked hard. Let's honor that. Doctor too. We've got 3 doctors here.
Yes. I'm a physician, and I was originally board certified in emergency medicine, but I also was trained in osteopathic medicine, which is all about how the body heals itself and how the mind and body are connected.
And you know, there's a lot of things we can do to support that, and I've really changed my whole practice to work with people who are chronically ill or in anxiety or depression or really disconnected from the health, to help them heal instead of manage disease or put a Band-Aid on it, to vest all my energy now into the practice of helping people heal. So I have established the American Institute of Mind-Body Medicine to share this with
other practitioners and other physicians, so they begin to understand that we are meant to live in wholeness, and that the things that support that, medication is great if you have an acute situation, but for chronic illness, there's not really much to offer in that conventional system. And when we start to look outside of that, there's so much that really does reliably do that. We have data and research and hundreds or thousands of years for some of these practices to show us that there's a lot more we can do to support the body. So I'm here to share that for this period of time and what's going on with COVID, and how it's completely essential for us to connect back with ourselves and with our body and with the wisdom of the body for awareness on how to stay healthy or what to do to get healthy when we're not. That it's inside of us, not outside of us. And I was really inspired by what Fidel is doing, so I was excited to be a part of this.
Thank you.
I'm Dr. David Lamson from Z Chiropractic, and I'm here because I'm really on a mission to help transform people's lives around their mind, body, and health through the nervous system. So chiropractic is a really amazing window into our health via the nervous system, which really controls everything in the body, from your organs, your muscles, to your mind-body connection. And so it's a really powerful way to help transform health. So I'm here to contribute my knowledge and expertise.
Thank you. Good, really good. So what I'd like to do is I'd like to go around the table again for this aspect of it, this part of it. And I'm not interested in defining what COVID is, but what I'm interested in is how do we build our immune system? How do we strengthen how do we empower our resilience emotionally too? And that whole body mind connection. How do we address and share with people some understanding of how trauma affects the body and how particular disciplines of trauma. Okay? So let's go around the table, starting back with you, David, Dr. Lamson. What is your understanding of trauma, especially what we're experiencing right now in this pandemic that you may be seeing in your clients, and how you're helping them address it?
Great question, Fidel, and I really appreciate you having us all together, because I think it's so important to have a dialogue and conversation around this. So I think I'm seeing so many people, that are really fearful, and they're really afraid of going outside, about human contact. And I tell people every day that human contact and interaction, going outside, moving your body is so vital for your immune system and function of your body. Your body wants to be healthy. And when you lock it inside and when you avoid interaction and contact, you're literally diminishing the immune system. So it's so vital and important to get proper motion, get proper alignment of your nervous system, have that checked ideally by an expert in the spine, do things that help promote, your vitality of your body. And so, it's kind of like a dimmer switch with your nervous system. You can kind of have 100% life, or you can have kind of varying levels of that. And so, toxicity, exposure to, environmental toxins or toxins in our food can suppress that. Even accidents, slips or falls can also diminish that. So that's really important to get your nervous system checked to kind of help that adaptability, because adaptability is all about resilience, which goes back to, the nervous system is a big part of that.
Right. I like that metaphor, like a dimmer. You're either on or there's various degrees of off. And I guess people wait till they're like in chronic or acute pain and they're almost off that they go get help. Right? That's interesting. I'm sorry, Dr. Kim.
Yeah.
Thank you, David.
Yeah, thank you.
I think what I see being the most important thing that determines whether someone's system is healthy, robust, resilient, on, or they're dimmed, is how present they are in their body. Are they here? Are they sensing, feeling, aware, letting information in and connected with themselves? Or are they, I'm over in the future hoping this thing doesn't happen, or making sure this thing does happen, or I'm replaying the past with all the unwanted things, or I shouldn't have done this, or because this person did this to me. And so their body's actually carrying that energy. So your body can only live in the now. And when we access the body and presence the body, even just, getting a few breaths, softening, relaxing the shoulders, bringing our attention here, we come back to the now. So we immediately let go of playing the records of the past and my trauma, or because this happened to me, therefore, or I have this diagnosis and so it means. We don't need to keep creating that. We can actually be in the present where we have power. And when we do this in small or bigger ways, we're no longer playing those old records, so they're no longer active. So our cells are listening to the record of like, I'm not good enough, I'll never be okay. And it may be past trauma or abuse or just this identity we had. Or I'm afraid and I'm living in future, unwanted future, or making sure the wanted future stays here and like disconnected there. Or in the outside space of what do other people tell me, or what do they want from me, or who do they need me to be, and I'm actually disconnecting there. And then the last place that I help people kind of understand this 4 quadrants is the identity, right? So I'm a 47-year-old woman, or I'm a mother and therefore I can't behave like this, or I'm a doctor so I have to do it this way. And you have these identities that determine who you're being and how you're showing up now. And what this has to do with your immune system is actually everything, because your cells are listening, and these neurotransmitters and signals that we send for our thoughts, our beliefs, where our attention is, are the same exact transmitters that are telling our cells what to do, our nervous system, our immune system, our endocrine system. And they'll either be healthy, vibrant, robust, resilient, anchored in the now to respond, or we're inflamed and discordant and disorganized, and we can't respond to the now because all of our energy, maybe we have like the dimmer switch down, so there's like 2% energy here or 10% energy here, which might be fine day to day, but now you get hit with like, I didn't eat enough, or I didn't get enough sleep, or my mother said this thing to me. And so like emotionally, mentally, physically, we get thrown off, and you're dealing with 10%. So now it puts you over the top, and you're like, you feel like you're dying, or you physically manifest cancer, because that's what the inflammation does. So I would say that's like the most important thing I've seen is when we get all our energy back into the now, our body can access our power and do amazing things, like literally heal stage 4 cancer, and boom, we can't find a single cancer cell in the whole body. Or, if there are infections or pathogens or whatever, it can overcome those, when we've seen with plenty of science and research what the immune system can really do. So are we giving our full access to our body so it can do what it needs to do?
So what I'm hearing is to be totally in the present, but also be conscious of integration, and not be
because
split.
When we're in the present, we're aware of like, wow, I have this pain from, maybe it is something that happens in the past, but the pain is here now. So I can actually access that, clean it up, clear it when I bring my presence here, because it's here now.
Okay.
Or thoughts and beliefs or ways I've been trained to see myself, I can catch it because it's here now. Oh,
Okay.
wait, what if I actually do choose this job? Or what if I do choose to do this thing where the heart is here now? It will feel like, oh, yes. And then you'll hear the little, no, I couldn't possibly do that. And then if you're here, you catch it. You're like, wait a minute, is that even true?
Which one of my friends says, you have your yays and your oops moments.
Yes.
And you have to catch it.
You have to catch it. And if you're here, you can do that all the time and
Thank
clean
you.
up and move forward.
Thank you.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
that very much.
Yeah, that's great. I'm so happy that I get to speak after you, because like in our plant medicine traditions, being an herbalist and especially working with plant medicines like hemp, that's what we do with the hemp, is we bring people back in the present and now, and it helps to regenerate cells in their body, within their endocannabinoid system, which is also within their nervous system, as well as their brain heart cognitive function. And what it does is it goes in to the system and it starts regenerating, balancing your cells in your body. It also balances the blood. And it's really amazing the results that I've experienced working with thousands of different people with many different cases, from arthritis, diabetes, fibromyalgia, cancer, PTSD, depression, anxiety, sexual trauma, physical abuse, just experiencing inflammation, bad diets and stuff like that. and we've been really able to help people find that balance again. And that's what's so amazing about the hemp flower plant and working with medicines and working, because you're also working within the ways of the land, and the ways of the land is what brings us back into now as well. And so with what's going on with COVID, I think COVID is a total check for humanity to come back to the ways of the land and to start really thinking about what they're putting in their bodies, the things and intentions they set and they say to themselves, you know, their mindsets. And I mean, you really said a lot in a nutshell. And I mean, I you know, for what the work that I've been doing, especially with hemp and horses, is just bringing people into the now and groundation, because once people start coming into now and groundation, you know, you start seeing and realizing the things that have been keeping you down, the things that have been keeping you from not changing. And sometimes you gotta, you know, humiliate. And so we teach breathing so you don't go like crazy, because like, oh my god, I've been living my life this way, I've been putting this food in my body, I've been like telling myself these things, and like, oh my gosh, you know, it's like you're having these breakthroughs. A lot of times those are times when we really need to come in, and that's what's really great about the hemp plant, because it helps not just with cell regeneration in the body, it helps with the brain cognitive functions. So then you're helping to deal with the anxiety that you may be feeling, or the energy you're feeling. Because something too that I've noticed working with the hemp plant, and I'm talking like the full spectrum hemp flower of the plant, not extracting with like heavy machinery, solvents, stuff like that. I'm talking about working with the actual hemp flower itself. We have noticed where people are able to just get such better results mentally, emotionally, and physically with coming into the now and being able to just, you know, even like if they can't stop eating gluten or refined sugars or red meat or, you know, meat factory meat for a little bit.
I'm not giving up my gluten.
Yeah, I mean, and I love gluten too, you know, and that's the thing. So that's what's great too. I make this thing called daytime oil. You know, it has frankincense, lemon, black pepper, and with the hemp flowers, and it's been so great for gluten intolerant people to like keep going, you know, and it helps to bring down the inflammation in the body, as well as to get out the metals or whatever other toxin might be in the intestines that's actually causing the inflammation from the gluten that you just ate. So, you know, I think it's a total wake-up check that people need to really know where their food's from. If they're going to eat meat, know where your meat is from. There's a lot of cancer from meat factory meat, and if you really think about how meat factory meat is made, and if you really went to those factories and you saw how it was done, I mean, it's a total holocaust. And so that's what you're putting into your body too, is like, so, you know, it's like if you're going to eat meat, you know, do your best to be conscious about it, or like pray for that animal when you eat it. And again, like do your best to like, you know, get food from local people. Try to support as many local people as possible who are growing food and farming, because really health comes down to like eating the kind of foods where you're from. If you're by the sea or you're up in the mountains. And that's a lot that is in Native culture as well, that we educate people. So
Thank you.
yes.
Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Okay.
Okay, would you like some green juice?
Please.
Yeah.
On that note.
Somebody, I need a cup. I need to get a cup.
Pass it out.
Have
So
a seat,
this,
so we'll bring it to you. Bring it.
this is made with,
Thank you.
I just went out into the alley just before I
shake
came
it?
over here.
You shake
Yeah,
it?
shake it up. And there was just these tiny little dandelions poking out of the mud, and a little bit of hollyhock leaves, still green. A little mint was poking out. So I washed them
Yes, sir.
and then put them in the blender with some microgreens, which I happen to have a whole bag, tons and tons to share with everyone, of peas and radish and sunflower. And
Did
some,
you bring the salad dressing?
no.
Okay.
Yeah, little apples that were growing on our tree, and some blended
Oh my gosh,
it.
it's so delicious.
Make sure we get some to Ashley. And
Wow.
and
Oh
here,
my
too.
gosh,
Get
thank
some
you. I
cups.
can
You
feel the
guys
love
can
in
have some
my
too. Also
my
for our
energy
friends
is
back there.
amazing.
We do have an audience. You guys can clap back there. All right. Now you can make some noise. Okay.
Yeah, so the plants have been such an ally for
Really good.
is it good?
Good. Except you're missing one thing. Jalapeno. I'm teasing.
It's
So
so
you're
good.
actually right. You're just missing jalapeno. Yes.
It's really good. Thank you. So what's in this?
So there's dandelion, hollyhock,
mint,
Oh my gosh.
pea greens, and sunflower greens, little local wild apples.
Wow.
And they're frozen. And lemon. It's a good one. I don't think I have to say anything more.
Oh my God.
But I want people to know that you're going to see an amazing video of Katrina. We call it the alleyway. What do we call it? The alleyway feast? Feast in the alley?
It was
We walked down the alley.
urban foraging.
Urban foraging.
Yeah.
Walked down
yeah,
an
yeah.
alley here in Durango, and we were munching. We were eating. But anyway, that's for later after we're done with panel discussion.
But I guess one thing I'll just say is that there is such a wisdom in these wild plants because they grow on this land all by themselves. They are totally wild. Nobody's messed with their seeds for thousands and thousands of years. So this is a really integral seed, and the wisdom of that seed knows how to grow in disturbed or compacted soils or in just, they don't need our tending. And that resiliency and the vitality of that plant, when we ingest it, that wisdom goes into our bodies, and all of a sudden the teacher is from within. Like, we get to ingest, and then we learn by what's happening within ourselves. And that, when we're opening to that kind of wisdom, it makes us become good caretakers
Our
of the
bodies
earth.
know.
Our bodies are brilliant.
Bodies know.
And when we give it the optimal food choices, and to me the optimal are as close to wild as we can get, but then also locally grown and, with care too. But there's something that nature is just so wise. And when the more we imitate our wild fellow creatures on this planet, which they eat all wild, local, and fresh.
The natural intelligence of the plants.
Yeah. And so there's a sustainable way of living with these examples of our nature family out there that are, winged ones and desert crawlers and all the creatures that live on planet Earth are such great teachers and models. And so the more as humans we can just inch more towards that way of being living, it makes us more of a noble species, where we actually give back and care. On the picture of all bigger job.
Thank you. Katrina, Blair, thank you.
Hey, so as a naturopathic doctor, one of our primary tenets is treat the underlying cause. And I would say one of the big things that I've seen during COVID has been we've lost a lot of our distractions, and so the stuff that we've been running from our entire lives is catching up because we can't busy ourselves away from it. And for a lot of times that's trauma, from childhood trauma, relational trauma, ancestral trauma. There's a lot of pieces that are coming up and through right now, and I think that's a big part of why so many of us are struggling, is because it's all the bits and parts and pieces that we haven't been willing to welcome into our heart or shine light on in order to think. And now this COVID is such a beautiful gift because we have more time and space. We are invited into more solitude and more time of reflection. Right now it's the winter solstice. It's the darkest day of the year. The winter is the season of the time of going within. It's also the season of the kidneys. I'm sure Tyler will talk about this. Tyler's our acupuncturist who's just joined us, an amazing wise man that he is. But that's an organ associated with fear. And so right now there's a lot of this in the collective. And if we can breathe and notice the story versus who we are, which is not all of that story, and breathe into our heart center and use this as an opportunity to face the boogeyman has its power in the fact that we run from it. So when we stop and we turn and we face that boogeyman, that boogeyman loses its power, loses its strength. And because we're shining the light on it, we're illuminating what's happening. And so that would be, I would say, as a naturopathic doctor, there's a lot of ways to access that in the body, mind-body counseling, but certainly herbs, not just on a physical level, but on a mental, emotional, spiritual level as well. Homeopathy, which is a system of energy medicine, which kind of releases the cellular patterning from the body. But if you don't have access to any of that, that's okay, because in naturopathic medicine, we believe in the vis medicatrix naturae, which is the healing power within every living being in our bodies. And so all we need to do is get out of our own way. And what do we do with this mind that won't shut off? We breathe, we breathe, we breathe. And we face whatever's there, and we welcome it into our heart, and we breathe. And we don't have to do, we get to be human beings, not human doings.
Nice, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Tia.
Thank you, Nicola. Yes, riding on what Nicola said is definitely resonating with me in these times, this time of COVID, this time of great coronation, and also what Kim was saying, that just breathing will bring us back in the present moment. Breathing is our life force. It's the prana. It moves the life through us, and staying with the breath, that brings us back to the present moment. As a yoga instructor, you know, I teach, it starts with the breath. Everything starts with the breath. And I think this COVID has encouraged everybody to rest and kind of get more quiet, so they can sit with these shadow aspects of the self and become more comfortable with discomfort, which is also, you know, in the practice of yoga, and breathing through that discomfort so that you may transmute it and evolve. So, I'm losing my train of thought here now.
So one of the things, if we could do this, we'll do this popcorn style, you know, except Tyler, the question is given our discipline, so I'm going to give it to you for a couple minutes. The question is, given the discipline that each one of us brings to the table, you know, you being an acupuncturist, Chinese medicine, Tai Chi, movement, breath, how would you address, and how do you see, we're not here to discuss what the COVID pandemic, the COVID virus is. We're here to work with people who are going through the stressors, who are going through, you know, the upset stomachs, the unable, you know, insomnia, you know, not anxiety, you know, paranoia, depression. So how would you address that, given your discipline?
Oh, that's a great question.
You can introduce yourself.
Yeah. So I'm Tyler Van Gemmert. I'm an acupuncturist in Durango, and I'm thrilled to be a part of an awesome panel here. I mean, what a great group. Thank you, Fidel. And yeah, I've seen a lot of folks come into the clinic dealing with exactly what you're describing. It's the side effects of stress. So not only do we have all the underlying patterns and conditions that we're already working on, but there's another layer that this year has been really challenging for people. So just to give you a little bit of example from my own experience, you know, at night I notice how I'm sleeping less, or there's a bit of anxiety, just like a low grade, little bit of kind of panic in the nervous system. And like Nicola mentioned, this is related to the kidney organ system in Chinese medicine. And that fear is something that we're all facing, like really whether we want to or not. I think there's just a global scale of what's coming next, you know, and who are we? And we're finding out what we're made of, right? And so I like that notion that we can have the courage to turn towards and face discomfort. And it could be disease or, you know, any imbalance, even illness too. I think in a lot of cases, people have been strong in the face of COVID, and they've been able to overcome symptoms and getting together, having community contact. I mean, there's so much life and vital force in the interactions that we share, you know, whether it's like with family on Zoom, or if you bump into somebody on the street and then you can recognize them underneath the mask or something. Like, isn't there just so much elation and in being able to remember, oh yeah, we're human and we're all in this together. And that's what it's really come down to, I feel, is just this reminder that, you know, in the natural medicine, we acknowledge the spiritual life. And so being human is something that connects us. It unifies everything and everyone. And we are part of nature. We come from nature. We are these elements. And we can overcome anything. I really believe that is possible.
Thank you. You know, alternative healing has always had an uphill battle, you know, to get people to understand what holistic healing is. You know, even though we've been eating plants some civilizations, some societies, some cultures are very intimate with the plants, our First Nations people. But how do we begin to initiate, an opening with our communities, in our families about healing? Especially, I was sharing with both Amir and Ashley the last couple of days. I reconnected with a childhood friend, and we now are talking about the skeletons in our family closets and about the things that have happened in our family. It's now only coming out after some of our family members have died of, cancer, AIDS, different things that stressors exacerbate, amplify. So how do we do that? How do we begin this healing process? Please, the floor is
You
open.
just named it. I think the first thing is to acknowledge what's true and to have a place that feels safe to tell your story, whatever that story is, and have it acknowledged and seen by somebody else. Because I think a big part of the reason the trauma continues to pass down is because there isn't a conversation that's happening about it, or maybe you did tell someone that was trusted and they said, no, that's not happening, and push that under the rug. And so I think step one is acknowledgement that that's real. And what Kim was saying before about connecting in with your own person, because a lot of times we'll have this notion and then we'll talk ourselves out of it. Well, that's not true, or that happened a long time ago, or I should just get over that, or just not really allowing ourselves to feel into, wow, is it possible that this level of grief is here after 60 years? Yeah, I'm here to tell you it's very, very possible. And if you haven't acknowledged and presenced it, then it's still living in your cells. And all that's required to release it is your presence.
And with that, there is this element
Thank you.
of when we do, let's just say whoever peoples to an individual have the opportunity to express the experience, or the story is our experience, and it's as valid as any experience. But when there's a space to do that, then there's a relaxation in the body, that all the tension around, we've had to cope because it's been there. When that relaxation happens, because there is an acknowledgement, a deep held listening acknowledgement that it's an experience, it's one piece of the bigger picture, then that relaxation gets to happen in the body, and that's when the body's wisdom gets to start to reshape.
Acknowledgement. It's exactly what we were talking about as the main point. And when there is acknowledgement of that core, that kernel from years and years and years ago of truth, we come back to let that little, whatever that is, open, and then the energy transmutes, the energy releases, it dissipates, the body can heal. But right now we're in a place where it's all about looking outside myself. Tell me what's wrong with me, doctor. I don't know what's wrong with me, right? I'm not here, so I don't have any awareness in my body. So I have to go to someone else outside of me to tell me, oh, you have this, oh, you have that, oh, it's because of this, which may be or not be true, but because we're so disconnected, we don't know. And now this has led to this exacerbation of it. You're just exponentialize that. We don't know anything that's true. Should I do this? Should I do that? Is this what I need? Is that what I need? Is something wrong with me, or am I okay? And we're looking outside ourselves for even the subtlest affirmation of who we are, right? Like, love me, love me. Did I do a good job? And then maybe that person is having a good day and they love you. Oh, and you feel good about yourself. Or maybe they're having a bad day and you decide, oh no, I'm nothing. I need to be a better person. But either way, we're spending every moment looking outside of ourselves for who we are, for the truth of what is happening, for guidance about what we should do or shouldn't do, for how to be healthy. So I think this whole thing is a big invitation to come back to ourselves and each connect within ourselves. And like you said, you've got to let the nervous system settle down before you're going to get clarity, and then invite others into that wholeness as well. Because when we do come in, we know, okay, yes, this is for me. Let's go this way. Oh, no, I don't have to worry about that. I'm going to leave that behind. And then we can take the wisdom instead of just information. So we all have way too much information, and actually find our own path and heal.
So on that point, like for example, I know that because of this time and space that now I have, I've taken some time to meditate more, start doing yoga, start being very aware of what I'm eating. I know Ashley, who's a vegan, I'm always saying, well, I'm a vegan. I eat moose, elk, antelope, deer. you know, but no, not but. And I realized that there's something to that because I was in a relationship where she was a vegan, and for 3 months, all I had was a plant-based diet. I lost 18 pounds.
Wow.
I walked every day, twice a day, and it changed me. I mean, I lost significant weight in that short of time. That's a lot of weight to lose, but I was healthy, I was strong. And that's where I'm coming off of to Durango, and I'm feeling, so the last thing too, you know, the left side, hip, that's my heart side, my feminine side. It was a painful separation. So, you know, going to doctor. So I guess where I'm going is like, there's some specific disciplines here that are represented here. You know, the yoga, the breath, the conquering, empowering breath, right? Breath. The manipulation and the alignment, you know, Dr. Lamson, that you provided. And I even told Ashley yesterday or today, hey, I'm walking faster. You know, I'm noticing I'm walking faster. So what are some specific technologies, like what would you offer someone who's suffering from insomnia? What kind of herb would you offer? What kind of breathing technique would you offer? What kind of tincture would you offer? You know, what is it in hemp that's going to help me? Let's go around the table real quick and give one thing that we can do as a technology or tradition or application. 30 seconds or less. Yes.
So if I was a doctor, I would say, hey, let's get your sleeping bag, get two. We're going outside and we're going to sleep under the stars in the snow. And it's an incredible experience when we do that. And we are under that celestial sky all night long. And it is like, it's like you're with the most
I want to be in one sleeping bag with that person. That's just me. But
and there's an experience of lucidity where you're getting deep healing rest, not distractedness.
Now, if someone can't sleep under the stars, I would recommend my nighttime oil that I made, which has lavender, chamomile, and hemp flowers, and there's a way that we sublingually take it. We take it under our tongue, we hold it under our tongue for 2 minutes, and then we connect the tip of the tongue to the roof of our mouth, which connects our front and our back energies together. And we do our best to go into the void, and sometimes I'll just like lead a simple meditation where you just close your eyes and you look inside your nostrils while your eyes are closed, and you just kind of just breathe through the nose in and out, and this helps to keep you in the void, and it helps to empty your mind, because a lot of the times why you can't sleep is because you're monkey braining so hard that and that you have to calm down. And so sometimes just even shaking out really helps. But most of the time when you empty the brain, what's great about the product I make with the lavender and the chamomile and the hemp in it is that it just helps to accelerate your brain heart cognitive function, and as well as your neurological system to get there faster.
Thank you. Thank you.
I would say one of the biggest things I see with insomnia, the body is trying to do a lot of integration at night. And then we're walking around all day with monkey mind, and we're like amped up. And so it's like we're overtaxing what it's trying to integrate at night. So I always start with what we're doing in the day. So if you set your alarm 3 times during the day to just relax your shoulders and take 1 minute to let the breath come into the belly. So it's actually repatterning your nervous system throughout the day. And eventually you're just spending your day in parasympathetic instead of like shoulder breathing intensity, and you're in sympathetic, which is fight or flight. Your body's going to have way too much to try to recover from when you finally, you'll usually crash into sleep, but not stay asleep or not have a restful sleep. So if you just practice parasympathetic, which is just repatterning the nervous system, relax your shoulders, let the breath come into your belly, it immediately turns off fight or flight, and you'll practice your way into a new level of stillness through the day.
Thank you.
And to continue on that balance, I mean, the body has this perfect balance between fight or flight or rest and digest. And a lot of times right now, especially, we're in this just fight or flight state. We're getting triggered by the news, we're getting triggered by our family, we're getting triggered by all sorts of things, all sorts of stresses, and our body literally is in this state of, I'm not safe. And so part of that is also posture. When we're we're sitting at our computer and our head's forward like that. I mean, even if you just try breathing in this position, you're not getting enough oxygen. You're in that sympathetic state. So even just breathing into the chest here, rolling the shoulders back, tucking the head back, taking a deep breath from that state, you will feel instantly different. You're changing your physiology, you're changing your neurology. And so that has a huge impact that, there's these tools that you can do every day. So when you notice you're coming in this kind of posture or you feel stressed, come back to breath, notice what's going on in your body. That will change. There's cycles of the body in terms of dealing with trauma. And a lot of times trauma, it's in that state of I'm not safe. And so coming back to breath, noticing what's going on in the body, you literally are moving through that massive movement with, your body getting outside, seeing the stars. That creates a shift in your body. Like you were saying, Tia, pranayama is movement of spirit. When we are breathing in, we're creating more spirit and more flow. When we're in a depressed state or we're having trouble sleeping, we're kind of in that stuck state. We don't have enough movement in our life. And literally, it's a signal for change. So, with, trauma, with, difficulty sleeping, create massive movement in your life and you'll notice shifts.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, wow, all great ideas here. This is wonderful, very helpful. In terms of Eastern medicine and Eastern wisdom, the insomnia condition is related to heat and specifically with the heart organ. And so if we simply shut off the news or we start to listen to some soothing music, there can be a nice, easy shift into calming the heart. And at night, I like the idea, especially of having fresh air and exercise during the day, so that when you come home and you lay down to rest, you're tired and you've had, good experience opening all your pores and all the cells have been active during the day so that your body's ready to rest. It's a natural rhythm. There is an herb in Eastern medicine. It's the red date seed and the red jujube. And so that's the noble herb for helping to calm the spirit of the heart.
Thank you. Thank you. Anybody else? Yes.
I think it's so important that we really take the time, carve out the time in our days to commit to daily self-care practices, whether that's taking a few minutes in the morning to meditate and just be still and connect with that intuition, our inner wisdom that will guide us through our days and our lives. Or taking a bath at night, it's just that I know that helps me throughout my days, just taking the time for self-care and really committing to those practices.
You know what I'm seeing a lot of is people walking. I see a lot of people walking now, and I'm walking more, and it's really amazing to me that walking is such a simple movement, and yet we find so little time to do it.
A moving meditation.
A moving meditation. Why don't you share with people about our Tuesday, Thursday meditation, virtual yoga? And if anybody has anything else,
thank you.
If anybody else has anything they're doing virtually, maybe now's the time to announce it. Also contact information, and then we're done.
Nicola, did you give a tip yet or no?
I haven't, but
yeah,
please.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
There's so many natural therapeutics that people play with for insomnia. There's something called phosphatidylserine. It's an essential fatty acid that helps to tell the pituitary to not produce cortisol. So if you're having that wired and tired kind of feeling, that could be something that could be helpful. But the herbs and the plant medicine I think are amazing. So I'm going to go through them quickly. Call me if you need help. But skullcap and kava kava and California poppy and lavender, all the flowers, lavender, rose, hawthorn, they're all really beautiful. But if you do nothing else, turn off your screen for 2 hours.
Not now.
Maybe if it's within a 2-hour bed frame of when you want to be asleep, because what's happening is that blue light is shifting, and if it's your phone, your iPad, your TV, your computer, it doesn't matter, and it's stimulating the blue light, is stimulating the pineal gland. It's telling you, wake up, wake up, wake up. It's daytime, but it's not. So create your environment so that you're mimicking the outdoor living, which is it's quiet, it's cooler, it's darker. That in and of itself, and then you're not getting stimulated with bad news or stressful stuff or Facebook debates or whatever.
Is that why I like it black, completely black when I sleep?
Absolutely, because we're impacted. We're light beings, you know, so we're sensitive to light. So look around your room. Do you have stuff that you plug in that's got the little LED lights on it? Your alarm clocks, your computers that plug in. It's so bright, you know, like in a hotel room. I've kind of one lately, maybe not lately, but there can be so many things to cover up. So make sure your room is a haven, that there aren't screens in it, that the little lights are cuttered off, and it's a little cooler.
Yeah, thank you.
Great.
So maybe real quick, what we could do is go around. Well, let me do this. Is there anybody in the audience that has a question about a certain health issue you're dealing with or stress? Ashley, Amir, our friends in the back. One question that maybe you want to ask, or you know, if anybody has a question of something, an herb or a movement or Chinese medicine, you got some people here. I guess y'all are healthy. Okay.
Where can I get more of this juice?
Turtle Lake Mountain Refuge, right up the road. What's the address?
848 East 3rd Avenue.
So website and phone number and your name. We'll go around the table and then we'll conclude our panel discussion. Thank you.
Okay, yeah, I'll start. So turtlelakerefuge.org is our website, and you can I want to share all these microgreens. You can take a bag, and I have a little bag. And then I have this huge bag.
Oh, thank you.
But every Turtle Tuesday and Frog Friday, you can come and have lunch. And we do takeout, and we have outside sitting.
Great lunches. I've been there. Great lunches.
And it's local wild, fresh foods, and delicious and fun.
Are these all the same?
No, they're all different. Pea, sunflower, and radish.
Okay, got it.
Wow.
And then whoever wants a ton, this is all pea.
I'll take some of that. I'll take some of
It's
that.
got frozen, so you have to use it up in pesto or something. Yeah.
I just had a bunch, but I'll take whatever's left over.
Okay,
Alright, I just want some. This is sun.
Yeah.
What is this?
Sunflower.
And this is what?
Radish.
Okay, we're gonna do the sunflower. Go ahead.
Okay, so Nicola Dehlinger, naturopathic doctor. I have Pura Vida Healthcare, which is at 160 East 12th Street. Our phone number is 970-426-1684. And we're at Pura, P-U-R-A, Vida, V-I-D-A, healthcare.com. And there's a bunch of practitioners, so.
Amazing practitioners,
Thank you.
right?
Yes.
Thank you.
They are. All of us.
So I am offering weekly yoga classes that are available via Zoom. I teach a Tuesday morning, 9 o'clock soul fire yoga, which is more active and invigorating to start your day. And then I'm offering a good night yoga class Thursdays at 7 p.m., which is more of a restorative kind of wind down your day so you can have a good night's sleep. So you can find me on Facebook, Instagram, or Linktree. My name is Tia Ewasaki, Tiawasaki.
And Kampai juices.
And Kampai juices, cold pressed juices.
All in.
No question.
Okay, and
I am founder of one of the most amazing nonprofits on the planet. We are actually do a lot of really cool things. Actually one of the things that we do is we defend people who are traveling, utilizing plant medicines. And one of the plant medicines that we work with is hemp. And anyways, our nonprofit is called Wumanati Earth Native Sanctuary. These are some of our products that we use, our fundraising commodities that help to support our equine therapy program, which we have currently 15 horses in, and we are in Taos, New Mexico. And when you buy these
might
products,
be moving to Durango though.
Might be moving to Durango, might be opening up a Wild West Medicine show here or Dubai, who knows? But anyways, we're gonna be having an amazing real Wild West Medicine show because we perform miracles with hemp and horses, and we utilize as well medicine from Mother Earth, and that way channeling the energy and working with performers all over from Disney Parish as well as Cavalia. And so anyways, we're hoping to put together a school and a Ewaskai is a show that's going to create jobs for locals and as well to teach local kids again how to get back into horse heritage, or kids that already know and love that.
Oh.
So check us out. We're Wumanati. Wuma means a female, Niti means the male. Wuma is W-U-M-A, Niti is N-I-T-I.org, and it means the balance of the masculine and the feminine in Pleiadian star ancestry.
Oh, thank you. You said that all in 1 minute. Indian minute. All right.
My site, my whole work is online. So my body of work is international. I do a weekly Mind Body TV live broadcast every Wednesday at 11 a.m. Mountain Time. And these are recorded. So the Mind Body community in Facebook is where we are having this conversation. And my YouTube channel, Dr. Kim Duramo, DrKimDeramo. We have a really active YouTube channel, so tons of information there.
Wow.
A lot of people will tell me, like, I just binge watch your YouTube and I have no more pain anywhere in my body. So that's been really incredible. I'm at drkimd.com, and I do work with groups or work with practitioners. I do retreats. But the biggest thing I'm doing is the Mind Body TV broadcast, so you can tune in there to join me.
What is Duramo mean? I know Italian.
Duramo means of copper.
Nice. Wow, beautiful.
But
Good healing element.
It's healing.
It's
Yeah.
antiviral, isn't it?
It's antiviral.
Right.
That's why what I'm doing is so potent right now.
Very
I would
good.
just leave everyone with remembering, like, we have already seen medically, scientifically, that your immune system, the power of your mind-body connection, is exponentially more powerful than any antiviral or antibacterial, antibiotic, or any medication we've ever seen on the planet. And every research study, we have to weigh it against that factor with placebo studies because we know how powerful this is. So it is an essential thing to remember right now that you have the power in you.
Yes.
Come on over, Gemma. Come on over. Say hello. You're going to see Gemma in this beautiful dance video that the family did. We have some dance videos coming up for
She
your people.
insisted on that song.
Yeah,
Oh, so
love
good.
it. Thank you. Nice to meet you. Two Gemmas right here.
Two Gemmas.
Two Gemmas. Okay, Dr. Lamson.
I'm Dr. David Lamson at Z Chiropractic, and my website is zchirodurango.com, and you can reach us at 970-946-9361. And if you're curious about how you can create more resilience in your life, how you can through your neurology, and please give us a call or look at our website and find out more info.
Thank you.
Great. So again, I'm Tyler Van Gemert at mountainmedicineacupuncture.com. You can find me there. I'm also doing an online Zoom class on Thursday nights, and I'd love to have you join me. Just come to my website and fill out put your email in on my newsletter sign up, and you'll get the invitation there. I focus on 4 main aspects of humanity, and it's the spiritual life, the mental world, the emotions, and the physical body. So typically we can work from any approach and find optimal health. It's often in, like everyone has been describing so well, that when we align with these natural rhythms, we inherently find health because we come from nature and we are nature. And so that's a good thing to trust during this time.
Yeah.
I want to say thank you to each and every one of you. Thank you, Gemma, for coming with your mom and your little brother, and also Jackson. Thank you for bringing Jackson.
Tanto mi corazón. Rosa, Rosalina, sé mucho gusto. Anda Rosa, de Rosalina, sé mucho gusto, mi papá. Quiero tanto cantar mi corazón. Porque me quiero tanto cantar mi corazón. May your day be filled with love and light. May you find strength in the times when the opposition may contain you and detain you. May you find yourself in the void. May you find yourself in peace, and may you remember you're not alone and that love exists everywhere around you. And it's up to you to remember that you are loved. His love will conquer all.
Self-love is really important.
That part at the end was very powerful. That piece you said to remember. That's what we're in right now. Will you remember, or will you continue to choose fear?
So if we, thank you, Kim. If we could just take what we're feeling, just ground that and just like bring it out, send it out all the directions, and maybe in that time, Amir and Ashley, when you decide it's time, after a minute or two or three, go ahead and start the video. Thank you. Jackson. Gemma, thank you.